Oh, everybody! I have ranted and raved about principles, not personalities. Well, this is a follow-up to that principle, that value. I'm a real conservative. I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a real Republican, not a Sino conservative in name only or a Rhino Republican in name only. Right? Why am I talking to you? Well, I am consistent. Deficits and debt. I had been talking about it during Reagan and every president, Democrat or Republican alike, ever since. Now, let's make no bones about it. This shutdown is the Schumer Democrats, commie fascist sociocrats shutdown, demanding money for illegals, demanding more federal spending, more deficit, more debt, more out of control spending. But I'm recording this to also call out the GOP side, the Cinos and the Rhinos, that Doge, next to none of it, very little of it, has been codified into law. So the CR itself, they're boasting. It's just a continuation of current funding levels, much of which is still then Biden level fundings out of control, post COVID, post Wuhan hysteria. That look, the phone's ringing. Lean over to. Anyway, post Wuhan hysteria that needs to go back down, be cut back to more reasonable levels. That hasn't been done yet. So, Speaker Johnson, so Majority Leader Thurmond, I still hold you accountable. The CR is still peddling Biden level spending, out of control. Where are the cuts? You yourselves are continuing the out of control spending. Yes, Schumer and the commie fascist sociocrats want even more spending. It's ridiculous, but I'm consistent. I hold everyone and all sides accountable because I'm not a hypocrite liar like those in DC. So, and uh, what do they want? An extension of the ACA subsidies. Well, given the Biden inflation years, people are still hurting. It's going to take time for the Trump policies to get into effect. So I am open to the discussion, but not at gunpoint via a government shutdown after the government opens to the rhinos who we know are going to cave on this anyway, to discuss some extension of the Obama MAO care, as I call it, socialized medicine, a plank out of the Nazi Party platform, but yet, of course, the left calls us Nazis. Isn't it? There are 28 planks of the National Socialist Deutschland Arbeiter Party platform in the Democrat platform, but they call us Nazis. But that's a whole other story. All right, Obamacare subsidies. Okay, you on the left sunset them. You are the ones that did it in your law that no Republican voted for. We indeed want to take care of hurting people. So, okay, let's continue the subsidies, but make sure waste, fraud, and abuse is addressed and cut out. And those who get the subsidies, it should be 20% less. And then the next year, 20% less. And then the next year, 20% on until they're completely phased out to zero subsidies, as was intended to happen when the law was passed. We cannot continue the out-of-control spending, deficit spending, borrowing, printing more fiat currency, which will then raise inflation again, that we are now only slightly getting down. It's around 2.7. It's a lot better than the Biden inflation, the stagflation of the Biden years, double-digit inflation, but we need to get it down to 2.4 or 2.2. That's going to take time, and printing more money, borrowing more money ain't going to help that. So, rhinos, you are at fault at this too. Now, I give you credit for trying to get back to regular order bill passing. I give you credit for that. But please spare me how hard you're working to reduce spending. You're not. It was pulling teeth to get you to eliminate the PBS NPR subsidy, which made sense when television first started. There weren't any channels, and radio, there weren't super stations like there are today. There are stations that cover every inch of this nation, and if not, they can access streaming of stations online now. NPR and PBS should have been, CPB, right? Corporation for Public Broadcasting, should have been eliminated eons ago. And the left wants that back in, of course. The left, as Reagan said, the government doesn't solve problems, it subsidizes them, right? The left wants those handouts to their leftists back in again. Cut the time to cut. We must cut, or the nation is going bankrupt. And guess what, you leftards? If the nation is bankrupt, then there is $0 to help anyone, the actual truly needy, because the Bible makes the distinction between those unable to help themselves and those unwilling to help themselves. You all keep wanting to buy votes for those unwilling to help themselves, where we on the right, biblical Christians, the Judeo-Christian foundations, the notions of charity to help those who cannot help themselves. But that needs to be done at the local level. We must dismantle much of what's going on in DC and return it to the states. And none of any of this has happened. And what prompted this is Carolyn Levitt. I look up at the TV that's muted. She's still going on, listing, oh, this spending is stopped, that spending is stopped, this spending. A lot of that federal spending needs to either be scaled back some or eliminated entirely. Shouldn't be spending it. So the shutdown, in a respect, in that sense, ain't bad. They're not spending money they shouldn't be spending. And Schumer shut it down not to cut spending, reduce spending, help save us money. No, they all on the left want, spend more, deficit us more, debt us more, bankrupt us sooner. So that's the fact jack, as they say, right? That's the reality, leftists. I'm consistent. You are not. You are hypocrites. Just like the other day, I did video exclusive for October 12 on your hypocrisy about the White House ballroom. Please, if you've not checked that out, I didn't mention in there, I should mention this as a follow-up to that. I didn't talk about the Arch to Triumph that Trump has floated. Just because France does something, jumps off a bridge, are we to follow? Just because a lot of European nations have it, do we need to have it? Now, I'm open to a commission, a private public, a government public commission partnership where funds are raised publicly. Donors are So if we put up an Arch de Triomphe somewhere as a monument project, as long as it costs zero taxpayer dollar, okay, I'm open to it. But I'm not if it's going to be taxpayer dollars. It's that simple. And people have been opposing almost any and every monument project that's gone on in DC since forever, right? People opposed even the Vietnam monuments, and people way back when opposed the Lincoln Monument, opposed the Jefferson Monument, right? Especially like the climatard types, even way back then. Oh, we don't want to disrupt the swampland. I call it that because it was all swamp. DC is a reclaimed swamp, and they don't want to, build anything more ever, it seems. But if we do it publicly, raise funds, that's fine. I'm all for it. There's no reason to. Your TDS is not a valid reasoning to oppose either the arch or the ballroom. Spending could be, but you don't care about spending. Spare me your concerned about anything but TDS and or that it isn't a Democrat doing it. That's all this is with you. Lies and hypocrisy. Please see that episode. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Again, spending out of control. So touting that, oh, this spending, that spending, blah, 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 A through Z spending is held up during the shutdown. Some of it shouldn't be spent. Cut it. Cut the programs. Eliminate the programs. Return it to the states. All of that is lost in any of this discussion.